Hello everyone, and welcome to History of the Ancient World. Today we're journeying back in time to unravel one of humanity's greatest mysteries. How were the Egyptian pyramids built? For thousands of years, these colossal structures have stood as silent witnesses to a bygone era, leaving us to wonder about the ingenuity and sheer willpower required to create them. Let's start with the basics. The most famous pyramids. The Great Pyramids of Giza were constructed during a period known as the Old Kingdom, roughly between 2589 and 2504 BC. That's over 4,500 years ago. These weren't just tombs, they were grand monuments, stairways to heaven, designed to ensure the pharaoh's successful journey to the afterlife and secure his eternal legacy. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, the largest of them all, was the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. It's made of an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. Think about that for a second. That's like the weight of a modern SUV, and there are millions of them. So the million-dollar question is, how did they do it without modern machinery? Forget the alien theories for a moment. The evidence points to incredible human organization, skill, and engineering. The workforce wasn't made up of slaves, as is often depicted in movies. Instead, it was a dedicated, well-organized crew of skilled Egyptian laborers. These workers were housed in nearby villages, received wages in the form of food and beer, and were even given proper medical care. We know this from archaeological discoveries of workers' settlements and cemeteries near the pyramids, which show healed bones and evidence of a balanced diet. Now, let's talk about the raw materials. The majority of the blocks were limestone, quarried right near the Giza Plateau. But the more prestigious casing stones, which gave the pyramids a smooth, white polished surface, were made of finer Tura limestone brought from across the Nile. The inner chambers often used massive granite blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, which were transported from Aswan over 500 miles to the south. Quarrying these massive stones was a feat in itself. The workers used copper chisels and dolerite pounders to cut into the rock. They would carve deep grooves, then insert wooden wedges. These wedges were soaked with water, and as the wood expanded, it would crack the stone along the desired lines. It was a slow and painstaking process, but incredibly effective. Once the blocks were quarried, they had to be transported to the construction site. This is where the real debate among historians begins. For the granite from Aswan, the most likely method was by boat. The ancient Egyptians were masters of the Nile. They would load the massive blocks onto barges during the annual flood season, when the water levels were high, allowing them to bring the stones much closer to the pyramid site. Recent discoveries have even unearthed ancient papyri, like the Diary of Mera, which is a logbook from an official involved in transporting limestone for the Great Pyramid. It explicitly describes this process of shipping stone by boat. Getting the stones from the river to the pyramid and then up its rising slopes was the next great challenge. The most widely accepted theory involves the use of ramps. But what kind of ramp? A single, long, straight ramp would have been impractically enormous, possibly requiring as much material as the pyramid itself. So, other theories have emerged. One popular idea is a spiral ramp, corkscrewing around the outside of the pyramid as it grew taller. Another suggests an internal ramp system, a series of tunnels within the pyramid's core, which would have been filled in as construction was completed. A French architect, Jean-Pierre Houdin, has championed this internal ramp theory, using 3D modeling to show how it could have worked. To move the blocks along these ramps, workers likely used sledges. A fascinating tomb painting from around 1900 BC depicts a colossal statue being moved by workers on a sledge, with one person pouring water on the sand in front of it. This simple act would have reduced the friction dramatically, making it much easier to pull the heavy load. This isn't just a guess. A team of physicists from the University of Amsterdam tested this and found that wetting the sand in front of a sledge reduces the pulling force by half. It's a perfect example of ancient ingenuity. So imagine the scene. Teams of workers, perhaps 20 to 30 men per sledge, heaving these multi-ton blocks up earthen ramps. Foremen would be shouting orders, coordinating the efforts. Water bearers would be rushing to wet the path. It was a symphony of organized labor. To lift the blocks into place, they might have used a system of simple levers and rockers. Once a block was near its final position, workers could use wooden levers to carefully maneuver it inch by inch until it was perfectly set. The precision of the construction is just as astounding as its scale. The sides of the Great Pyramid are aligned almost perfectly with the cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. The base is astonishingly level. The casing stones were fitted together so tightly that you couldn't even fit a knife blade between them. This level of precision suggests they had a deep understanding of astronomy and mathematics. They likely used the stars to achieve their alignments, and simple but effective tools like square levels and plumb bobs to ensure everything was straight and true. The construction of a single pyramid was a project that spanned decades, often the entire reign of a pharaoh. It would have employed tens of thousands of people, from the quarrymen and boat captains to the stonemasons and architects. The chief architect, or overseer of all the king's works, was one of the most powerful officials in Egypt. Men like Imhotep, who designed the first step pyramid for King Djoser, and Hemiunu, believed to be the architect of the Great Pyramid, were revered for their genius. In the end, the pyramids are not monuments to alien technology or a lost super civilization. They are monuments to human potential. They show what can be achieved when a society is united by a common purpose and guided by brilliant organization and engineering. They are a testament to the skill, strength, and unwavering belief of the ancient Egyptians. The next time you see a picture of the pyramids, don't just see a mystery. See the incredible story of human achievement written in stone. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into one of history's most fascinating subjects. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to History of the Ancient World for more journeys into our incredible past. Let us know in the comments what ancient mystery you'd like us to explore next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.